Ann Coulter went on a conservative radio show recently, and she had a conversation about immigration. She has a new anti-immigration book out. I'd love to look through that and then fact-check it, and then stop reading after 3 pages when through 3 pages there's been 116 fact-checks. It's probably, I mean, oh my God. Media Matters, get on that, man. You got to read that. I guarantee you that book is jam-packed of factual inaccuracies and probably at times outright racism. But anyway, she goes on a conservative talk show, and she does her standard anti-immigration talking points. I want to listen here, and then we'll come back and break this down.
I wasn't joking about that, by the way. They do give citizenship ceremonies in Spanish. They've been doing that. Yes, Carter-appointed judge started doing it.
I had no idea that happened, because, of course, in order to become a citizen, you have to pass an English test. Even I had to pass an English test.
That's very funny. You should be administering it to us. But the INS has waived the English language requirements for many immigrants. And it's not just, and that's obviously goes to the heart of it. Mm-hmm. Are you switching allegiance? Do you love this country? But beyond that, how about the wheelchair-only section? How about the section for the blind? Look, wish these people well, but we're not running an international charity here. Mm-hmm. It's insane for any country not to be using its immigration policies to bring in people better than us. Not people who are instantly going to need taxpayer assistance. We have our own poor people. And again, this includes all the immigrants who have come in, well, forever, who are here now. It's people who live in America we should be taking care of and not bringing in people we have to help.
People who live in America we should be taking care of. People who live in America we should be taking care of. She just said that. Okay. I want everybody to write that down, put it in quotes, and then next time she argues for cutting food stamps or Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid or any other government program that helps people, you say, I thought you said that we should take care of people in America. So that's point number 1 here. Understand what she just said and understand that she definitely doesn't mean that. She doesn't want to help fucking anybody is what it comes down to. Doesn't matter if you're an American, if you're not an American, if you're an undocumented immigrant, if you're a legal immigrant. Doesn't matter. Well, actually, I lied. There is one group of people who she really likes helping. Rich old white men. Republicans in general, I guess you could say. That's who she's in favor of helping. So her larger point there was, well, kick out and don't allow in handicapped and disabled immigrants. She was outraged by that. She's like, I saw a wheelchair ramp at the immigration office. Oh, gross. How dare we allow in people in wheelchairs? Ugh. Well, okay, and how about the ones who are already here? You want to ship out those people too? You want to round them up and ship them out? Now, we did a story yesterday about how since 1996, get this, $8.5 trillion went missing at the Pentagon. Missing. 8.5 trillion. Whoops, where'd we put it? I don't know. So if you're concerned about too much spending, which is what she's hinting at here about, we don't want to let in immigrants and then pay for everything for them. Well, take your focus and your anger and your outrage and put it on the Pentagon, which you won't do. You'd never do it, because even with this, you still want to increase spending to the Pentagon, so spare me your small government nonsense. The hypocrisy is obvious, and this giant contradiction is obvious. You just don't want to spend on brown-skinned people, but you have no problem spending on killing brown-skinned people. That's what's going on here. But here's what I love the most. Ann Coulter fancies herself such an uber-Christian that she once argued that we should try and convert the Middle East. So that's on a whole nother level of Christian. So why don't we go ahead and look at her holy book and see what it says about the deaf and the blind and the disabled and handicapped people. This should be fun. Matthew 5:5. They say, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Okay, so starting out simple there. I mean, they didn't really reference, like, handicapped people, blind people, deaf people. They didn't mention that. So, well, maybe that one, Ann Coulter would say, well, that one doesn't apply. I don't know what you mean. They weren't referring to what I'm talking about. Okay, well, let's move along here. 1 Peter 4:1. Since therefore Christ suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves with the same way of thinking. For whoever has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. Okay, so if somebody's suffered, well, they've ceased from sin. It's the people who haven't suffered that are the sinners. Okay, that's becoming a little more obvious here. They're kind of hinting that people who've gone through hardship, handicapped people, etc., they might be better people. That's kind of what they're getting at here. Well, let's continue. What else we have? Leviticus 19:14, quote, "You shall not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block before the blind, but you shall fear your God. I am the Lord." That's even more clear. Do not curse or put a stumbling block in favor or in front of the blind or the deaf. I am your God. I will punish you if you do so. All right, he might be talking about you there, Anne. How about Luke 14, lines 12 through 13? Quote, "When you give a feast, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind." Invite them, invite them, invite them. Don't kick them out. That's what you want to do. Well, she might say they're referring to just a feast there. That doesn't mean invite them in the country. Okay, 2 Corinthians, lines 12 to 19. "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." All right, do you know what that means? It means brag about your weaknesses. Be happy about your weaknesses. Embrace your weaknesses. It makes you a better person. And finally, we have Exodus 4:11. "Then the Lord said to him, 'Who has made man's mouth? Who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord?'" In other words, if you're bitching about blind people or deaf people or handicapped people or disabled people, you punk bitch. I, the Lord, created these people. I made them, and my creation is perfect. They're perfect as is. And you're just a ridiculous human being. That's what you are. You understand that? Oh, I'm so Christian. Oh, Jesus, yay. The Bible, yay. Well, why don't you try fucking reading it? Why don't you try looking at the parts that might question your adherence to conservative and Republican dogma? If you did that, you might just learn you're pretty much wrong about everything.